I'm going to tell you that the Boston bombing has now been pushed aside, most of it, because they're focusing now on suspects. I use that with quotations. Suspects now. And the Boston bombing, as far as a terrorist attack is concerned, is not measuring up to that moniker. It just isn't. And this is not to diminish the sadness and the tragedy of the event. It's merely an observation that the media has overreacted. They planted the seeds of terror and utilized an effective distraction that is trying to hide the fact that we now live in a country that's being led by despotic men and women. We're in a country where the citizens demonstrate patriotism in the face of a threat. And that's fine. But we need to use that same patriotic zeal to reveal who the real demons are and what they're doing to persecute us. You understand what I'm saying? I want to be very serious and by the book here, and I don't want to mince words with what I am saying about this very demon. Because we have discussed this and discussed this and discussed this. And as I'm reading over the news reports today, I'm wondering if those who want to scream false flag really know the definition of what a false flag attack or a false flag is. Because, you know what? I don't see our government pinning the blame on any country. And the reason why I'm not seeing it is because either it's being covered up or there really isn't a country that's responsible for this. Okay? Nobody representing an ideology is responsible for what happened in Boston. You see, state-sponsored terror or terrorism, I don't think we're seeing what these true meanings of the... And this is why I worry about semantics. I worry about something that Orwell called newspeak. I worry about how words and phrases are used in newscasts and in the media to generate a certain type of attitude. Because, and even in the alternative media, words like false flag. A false flag, literally, is where a government creates chaos or creates an event. Like, for example, it'd be saying the government created the Boston event. And then they turn it around and they blame it on another country to take the blame off them, so we get angry at that country to fight a war or to go into some sort of a incident or something of that nature. Now, the only people I'm hearing that are blaming are the people. You see? They've done something very clever. They've turned the mainstream media into a haven for conspiracy theorizing. They've made the mainstream media create hypothetical instances. They are using Where's Waldo tactics with all of the people that were the Boston Marathon to try and find their suspects. And in the meantime, they are creating another kind of terror, and that is they're getting the people to turn on other people. No one's going to ridicule anyone for asking questions, but we need to understand what the government is doing. I just got to put it out on the line, I guess. I can't be cryptic anymore. I'm just going to say it. Yes, what happened in Boston was a false flag attack, and you know who they're blaming it on? You! That's who they're blaming it on. Don't you get it? They're blaming it on you. This isn't about blaming it on another country. This is about blaming it on you. They're doing this because everyone's a suspect. They're looking over all the videos. They're pointing fingers at everybody with brown skin, now people with white skin. Look, it doesn't matter. You go to one channel, they're saying it's what? A bunch of people who don't like Obama's vision, a bunch of tax evaders, and a bunch of white supremacists, and a bunch of conservative weirdos and conspiracy theorists on one hand. On the other hand, they're saying, oh, it's people who don't like America. It's the Saudis. It's the Saudi. They're pointing the finger at you. Don't you get it? When are we going to wake up? This is a false flag that's no longer being pointed at another country. This is the false flag attack where it's been done, and you guys did it. That's why they have no suspects. They're waiting for all of us to attack each other and pin each other to the mat and say, hey, give it up, you did it, you did it, you did it. It's not, oh my gosh, can you guys figure this out? Everyone putting their finger on someone and terrorizing them, and a picture goes up on the internet, and immediately we're writing letters to them saying, how dare you do this? How dare you? And they didn't do it. They're not the suspects. Don't you get it? They want us to have this type of anger, and they want us to be divided, and they want us to point fingers and say, hey, you know who did this? They're all getting up there. And you know what's the biggest giveaway? Americans are not divided on this subject. You know, when the government tells you that we're not divided, we're divided. I don't hear anyone speaking about how united we are in trying to figure out how this is going down. We're all picking and choosing who we think did it. They're leaving us guessing. When Jesus was presented to the Romans, guess what they did? They chose the criminal. I see nothing wrong with this man. So what? We want him dead. The criminal can go free. And who's the criminal in this case? Who are the criminal minds behind every one of these attacks and false flags? Is anyone going to figure it out? I want to play you a clip from The Dark Knight. This is the Joker talking to Harvey Dent after he's turned into Two-Face. And this is what he says to Harvey Dent about schemers and what goes that isn't going according to plan.
I just do things. The mob has plans. The cops have plans. Gordon's got plans. You know, they're schemers. Schemers trying to control their little worlds. I'm not a schemer. I try to show the schemers how pathetic their attempts to control things really are. You know that I'm telling the truth. Look what I did to this city with a few drums of gas and a couple of bullets. You know what I noticed? Nobody panics when things go according to plan. Even if the plan is horrifying. If tomorrow I tell the press that, like, a gangbanger will get shot, or a truckload of soldiers will be blowing up, nobody panics. Because it's all part of the plan. But when I say that one little old mare will die, well, then everyone loses their minds. Introduce a little anarchy. Upset the established order, and everything becomes chaos. I'm an agent of chaos. Oh, and you know the thing about chaos? It's beer.
So nothing's going according to plan. And everybody's losing their minds. Because their heroes had fallen, and no one gave them answers. And now we have no answers. We're making them up. We can make up all the answers in the world. And with all the newspeak and the semantics and this never-ending war, this open-ended war that we've told is still going on, we're going to find ourselves pointing the finger at each other. We're going to be screaming for justice. We're going to be screaming for our rights to be taken away. We're going to be screaming for more laws and more cameras. And then, what will the government do? They'll give you exactly what you want. You see the beauty of this whole thing? It was just enough to add a little chaos and anarchy into the mix. And what does chaos do? It generates paranoia, and it generates fear. And now, we're pointing our finger at every person. And we'll get to a point where we won't be able to tell the good guys from the bad guys, because they may be in your home and sitting next to you.